Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, dreamers, visionaries, and leaders of tomorrow. I stand before you today with a sense of excitement and anticipation as we prepare to embark on a collective journey, a journey into the future of this country and economy. I'm glad to see that this hall has a wide spectrum of voices and experiences who are here to actually challenge the status quo and wanting to actively participate in changing the overall shape of this country. Now let us imagine for a moment that we are the explorers, venturing into uncharted territories, where the unknown beckons with challenges and untapped opportunities. Today is not merely about dissecting economic trends or about analyzing data points. It's about fostering a shared understanding of forces that will mold our country's destiny. We often hear that a future is uncertain. Well, indeed, it is uncertain. But what if I asked you for a moment to look at it instead as a canvas, waiting for a stroke of innovation, creativity, collaboration, and resilience? Each decision we make today ripples through time, and the choices we collectively make today will embrace the shape of the narrative tomorrow. As we navigate this intricate web of technological advancement, global connectivity, and involving consumers' trends, let us do with a sense of purpose. Because our actions today are not mere transactions. They are the investment into the future. Because the challenges of today will be the opportunities of tomorrow. Now let me come towards the most interesting part, and I'm going to be sharing the recipe or the secret sauce for investing in Pakistan. I want to begin our story of the future by learning from the past. When we look at the successful foreign investors in Pakistan, a common thread emerges, a thread woven with the fabric of patience, resilience, foresight, and unwavering commitment to this country. The true success in this country are built by those who have embraced a long-term vision of this nation. As with most countries, Pakistan too has its own share of cyclical economic blips. In this ebb and flow, it has been the investor with vision, the one who has seen beyond the immediate fluctuations, who have truly prospered here. To succeed in Pakistan, my friends, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you really want an hour for a marathon, then please do invest in Pakistan. It requires the ability to see beyond the short-term challenges and recognize the immense potential that is beneath the surface. Those who have flourished are the ones who have weathered the storm, always steering towards the long-term horizon. Now, Unilever in Pakistan, the company I represent today, other than my existing responsibility as the president for Overseas Chamber, is as old as the country itself. The country was born in August 1947. Unilever came exactly 6 months after that. Now imagine at that time the country was in the incubator and many international forces wanting it to die. And there was a foreign investor who took a bet on this country and invested. Well, the investment was not about investment in factories or in production lines. The investment was actually empowering local communities. It's about creating jobs and livelihoods. It's about fostering sustainable practices such as fair living wage, green energy, which contribute towards the country's growth and prosperity. What is true for Unilever Pakistan is actually true for 210 other member companies of Overseas Chamber, which I humbly represent today. OICCI today represent around 14 different sectors from 35 different countries. And let me share some facts with you, which many of you may not be aware of. In the last 10 years, the average profit repatriated by the overseas companies is $1.6 billion every year. In 2018 alone, these foreign companies repatriated $2.3 billion in 1 year alone. These companies not only repatriate, but also are contributing 1/3 to the country's exchequer in shape of taxes. Honestly, between PBC and OICCI, which are combined 300 companies, contribute 60% of the country's tax. And not only tax, but they have actually contributed to 46 million lives across the entire network. Let me share some more statistics that may be of interest to you. Other than this repatriation, over the last 18 months have been challenging because like any other economy, Pakistan has its own share of fluctuation. And last 18 months happened to be where the foreign investors' profit repatriation has actually witnessed a slowdown by around 80%. But after 18 months of wait, the repatriation process have restarted because many foreign investors ask that, is your profits being repatriated? The reality is, in the last 75 years, there's never been a time where the profits have been actually held back. It was 18 months, and as patient investors, where country comes first, we knew that it will warm up, and it has warmed up. Again, I talk about it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's equally important to talk about that despite all these hurdles in the last 18 months, there are certain sectors which are worth mentioning, which happen to be the beacon and have stood tall. And one of the sectors is the financial sector, which has attracted astute investors across the world. And the other one is oil and gas exploration and telecommunication. With that said, it's also imperative to safeguard the interest of the existing MNCs, because it will catalyze further foreign investment into Pakistan. And this initiative taken by SIFC, which is a one-window operation, holds substantial significance. And their success hinges on the ability to simplify regulations, enhance ease of doing business, and provide compelling incentive for both local and private sector. And we all know SIFC has outlined some very interesting facts. And they have actually outlined 3 areas, which is agriculture, which is minerals, and telecom and IT. And in all 3 areas, our productivity is way below than our peer group. And hence, there's immense potential that lies there. Now, I just want you guys to take a pause, because I want to make a comment here. And I again want to go back to history. While the situation in Pakistan may have seemed bleak over the last 18 months, it's not unique by any means. Many of today's regional powerhouses have gone through this similar turbulent times. We have learned from their experiences and built similar glide path to a successful resurgence of economy. I want to share 2 examples here. Just over 30 years ago, our neighbor towards east were crippled by economic crisis, resulted from balance of payment deficit because of high reliance on imports and other external factors. And in 90s, towards the run-up for the Gulf War, their forex reserves are barely enough for 3 weeks of import cover. Their foreign reserves as low as $1.2 billion, which we were in, as a matter of fact, in June. No one was willing to give them money. IMF, World Bank, ADB, they flatly refused. They have to collateralize their gold to Bank of England and Union Bank of Switzerland and got $600 million against it. And this is 30 years, not talking about 50 years. And today, they have reserves of $600 billion. It's a 3 trillion plus economy. Another example is Indonesia, 1997, when the Asian crisis struck. At that time, the GDP was $215 billion, 1997. Devaluation, 97, 95%, followed by another 73%. Inflation, 58%. Their GDP plummeted to $95 billion. Fast forward 23 years or 25 years, the GDP is $1.4 trillion. Similar demographics, similar psychographics, not much of a difference. And I hold the same promise for Pakistan. My last piece, Pakistan at 100, 23 years from now, exactly, 2047. Would anyone would have thought about these two countries in the 90s that they will be one of the powerhouses in the world? If they can, we can. We have every kind of resources. Our biggest dividend, our biggest resources, which we may think is a liability, is actually our population. A young population which is a formidable asset, which will pay dividend. The World Economic Forum offers a very optimistic view of Pakistan, anticipating its ascent to the global stage as the 7th largest consumer market by 2030. And Goldman Sachs too sees remarkable trajectory for Pakistan, projecting to emerge as the 6th largest economy of the world in 2075. I leave you with these numbers. I leave you these with stories. In the end, I would like to conclude by saying, Pakistan is, Pakistan will, Pakistan has to surmount all these challenges. It's not a choice, it's not an option. It's a must-win battle, and I'm convinced Pakistan will win this battle, inshallah. Pakistan Zindabad. Thank you.